So I'm taking the stoutest one to begin with, and what I'm wanting to do is to just give it a little bit of love so it knows that I want to work it and get it into a hoop. And I'm just going to take it into a very large hoop, and I'm using my belly to steady this far end, and I'm tucking that underneath the hoop, and I'm looking to get it to approximately the size that I want to work with. So with this one, I'm going to tighten a bit more. This is going to stay here, but this is going to get pulled through to tighten and tension down to the size that I require. When I'm happy, I'm going to continue to weave this around the circle, but I'm not getting any tighter weave as I go. I'm maintaining that distance, and that is really key and crucial. It's very easy with the thinner bit to twist and twist and twist. That's not what you want to do with this. Steer it into shape, and then we're going to add in another withy. And again, key is giving it that stroke and that little bit of love. And we're going to work to the opposite side. So this one was diving down and is pointing to my right. This one is diving down and pointing to my left. So all my finishers are going to be on the underside. Now, if I'm careful, I can weave it in, and then I can twist it into position so that it follows the previous roll. And wherever you've got an end, it always goes under. Now you're going to have some ends that are sticking out a bit, so you can trim those with your secateurs. You're going to have some little bits as well that aren't sewn in. Just leave those, they will work in, but what you want to do is to maintain that roll. And sometimes it looks like it's in position, but actually it just wants a little bit of care and attention to move it slightly. And again, steer it. So we've done the opposite sides. We've done 2 in. What I would like to do now is to do sort of top and bottom. So again, exactly the same principle. Pop it in, sew it, make sure it tucks underneath an end, and you can see now that it's starting to create that lovely perfect roll going all the way around it. This is a little bit long and it's getting on my wick a little bit, so I'm just going to cut these down so they're not in my way as I'm going. And I'm taking some time and some care to position each one where I think it needs to be. So I've now got 3 rods in. Ideally what I want is a rod in every sort of position of the clock face. So I'm going to keep going round. I'm going to add this last one in on the opposite, so I get a 1, 2, 3 and a 4. And then I'm just going to keep adding in wherever I feel I want to, and wherever I feel I've got a sort of thinner section, until I've achieved a really, really nice rolled ring. And just take your time and care with it. If they go kinky, take them out, pop a new one in. We've got a lot of cut ends here. I'm not worrying about them at this stage. We can come back and deal with those a little bit later on. And key is making sure we've steered it and we've turned it back into shape. You can see here it's starting to build up, but I'm now going to put lots more on, so we get lots more starts, finishers, and we get that roll appearing. So I'm going to choose a very simple decoration for this one. I'm just going to put a little bit of foliage in the top and a bow. So I've got the 2 pieces of foliage that I've chosen to use. I'm going to probably hide the bit that I don't like the most with that foliage. So that and that are going to go onto there. And I've just taken the bottom bits off the stem just so I can expose them a little bit and give myself a little bit of room to work into. I'm going to take my trusty reel wire and I am going to bind these in just so they're going to hold, and a couple of binds round and a little bit of twisting. A little bit awkward for you to see, but I'm just going to turn it over onto the other side and do the twist with those so that it goes nice and tight, and I can trim those off in a short while. Sit those where I want them, and then I'm going to get my ribbon, and this is going to be the ribbon for my hanger. So what I'm going to do with this particular ribbon is I'm going to put 2 pieces together and underneath, and then I'm going to pull through so that it gives me that bit for the hanger. Okay, and then I can just knot at the top of this, and that's all sorted for the hanging bit. I'm then going to hide this by putting a ribbon over the top of it to create myself a bow. So I'm working roughly about halfway on my ribbon, and I'm going to put that on the back of here, and I'm going to knot it to begin with so it's secured onto the hanging section. Get everything nice and tight, and one knot usually suffices, but if you like to put a couple of knots in, you can do. And then I'm going to create a bow, and I'm working upside down, so this is going to be the bottom of the wreath, and just pull that through. Zhuzh my bow so it looks nice and neat, and then turn it round the way that I want it so I can work out what it's going to look like when I'm hanging it. Again, rearrange slightly where the bow is sitting, and have a look at these 2 sections here. And I quite like a long dangle, so I'm just going to cut a very sharp point onto this one and maybe a slightly shorter point onto that one. It looks quite nice if you've got quite a lot of pieces hanging of ribbon. So a really simple wreath ring with a little bit of ribbon for you.